Welcome to Living the Empowered Life channel. My name is Yvonne and this channel is all about bringing you content that is empowering, encouraging and inspiring. On this channel I show you things that I do to live the empowered life, talk about things that I believe help to live the empowered life. Also I take you out and about with me when I go to places of interest or do things that I believe consist of the empowered life. Also on this channel I do book reviews and share with you books that I have read that I believe help to live the empowered life as well. So if this is the type of content that you're after, please hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up if you like the content, because that way it helps people to know, or let the algorithm know, that people are watching this video. And also as well, don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that you can be notified of any new uploads. So today's video is a book review of a book I recently read by somebody called Bobette Buster. It's one of the books in the Do series. On this channel I have done three other book reviews on books from the Do series, which is a series of books by people who are experts in different fields, sharing with you just quick tips on things relevant to the topic of the book. So this book is about how to tell your story so the world listens. I bought this book probably back in about June or maybe May this year. I paid £3.98 on eBay for this book. It was through a company or a store called We Buy Books, but they trade on eBay. I did look on Amazon for this book, but they were going for £5-6 and I didn't want to pay that much for this book, so I got it from eBay. And the reason why I bought this book is because as an author of 2 books myself, I'm always interested in developing myself further as an author, as a storyteller, and I wanted to see what tips Bobette gave in this book to help people to tell their story. Now Bobette Buster, she is a story consultant, lecturer and screenwriter who works with and teaches at major studios including Pixar, Disney and Sony Animation, and in top films all over the world. So this is her first book, and in this book she shares with us her tools and principles for storytelling. So one of the things I really liked about this book was her 10 tips or her 10 principles for storytelling. I'm going to quickly run through them with you. I'm just going to summarize them, but if you want to check out the book, I will leave the link to it in the description box below. So number 1, she says, tell your story as if you're telling it to a friend. Number 2, set the GPS. That means like the time, the place, the date, the setting and any relevant context to the story. 3, she says, use action words, active verbs, avoid overusing words and repetitive language. Number 4, she says, take 2 ideas, images or thoughts and place them together, let them collide. 5, gleaming detail, choose one extraordinary or one ordinary moment or object that becomes the gleaming detail in your story. 6, hand over your spark, reflect on your experience. 7, be vulnerable. This one is my favorite. Dare to share your emotion in your story. I always think in being able to connect emotionally with your audience is about being able to show vulnerability. I have been a public speaker for 10 years now, and as I mentioned, an author of 2 books. And one of the things I do notice when I do public speaking is when I tell my story or when I'm talking about something, to be able to kind of share that vulnerability with your audience, it builds emotional connection between you. 8, tune into your senses of memory. Choose the strongest of the 5 senses of your story to make a deeper connection with the audience. 9, bring your story. A story is as much about you as anything else. And 10, let go. Hand over your story. Let it build to its natural emotional punchline. As mentioned, that was just a quick summary of her 10 principles of storytelling. What I really liked about them is that, you know, she got straight to the point, broke it down in a really easy way for people to be able to take in. Another thing I really liked about this book is when she gave an example of somebody who was getting ready to give her talk to an audience and was so nervous, I don't think she really ended up sharing it. And in what she said, she broke down a list of things that would have helped her to be able to tell her story better. One of the things as well I really liked about this book is that she does talk about, you know, the importance of crafting a good story and how to build like the foundation to be able to do that. Throughout the book she does share little tips and little kind of words of advice to help you to do that. So basically, in a nutshell, or roundabout nutshell, to tell a good story or to craft a good story means to show vulnerability, be vulnerable, share the gleaming detail, and also bring a new or different angle to sharing your story. Out of all the Do Story books, even though I found a lot of positives in this book, this was my least favourite out of all the series. And one of the things I found really hard about this book is that there was, in some of the things that she was talking about, there was just too much backstory. For example, when she talks about the story of E.T., the boy in E.T., and his kind of story to build an emotional connection, she spent so much time just talking about the backstory of it. By the time it came to the point that she was trying to make, I completely was lost. And throughout this book, I don't know if it's the way that it is written or the words that are used, it was just very difficult for me to read in places, and almost at times it just felt like a little bit of a word salad. I came away from some parts of the book not really understanding what I was supposed to take away. But it is a book that I decided to buy. I did pick up some really good points from it, in terms of making sure that I can still develop as a storyteller, as a public speaker, as an author. And as I mentioned, some of the things in here I will be able to work on and take away and do things maybe differently or add to things I'm already doing. And another positive thing is that it's another book in the Do series that I do have. I am planning on collecting all of these books for as little money as I can. I mean, I've been able to get them for 19 pence and stuff. I think out of all the Do books already, this is probably the most expensive one I have bought so far. But my plan is to have the whole collection because I do like these little types of books. I think that they're always full of little tips, concise tips that, you can apply very quickly. But that is just my quick book review on this book, Do Story by Bobette Buster. If you are somebody who is looking to get into public speaking, wants to work on your storytelling, wants to find out a little bit about how to craft a really good story, then this book might be for you. As I mentioned, it was a little bit hard to read, but there is some good tips in this book. But I will leave the link to it in the description box below, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.